What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk, a channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So in today's episode, I'm going to discuss that I am last of a dying breed. So admin notes, thanks again to all subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the video out. Give leverage, you better yourselves. So let's get into it. So why do I say that I am last of a dying breed? So there's been this thing going on for a couple of years now where social media has termed this thing toxic masculinity, right? And I've talked about this before on previous videos. So toxic masculinity is basically, in my interpretation, anything that promotes male dominance is considered toxic to women and maybe to other folks as well, right? So I know for myself, when I made this channel, there was a couple of reasons why I made it. I've already talked about that in a previous video. But one of the main reasons why I made the channel was to help men better themselves, black men better themselves, but any man as well, right? And I'm always the one that promotes masculinity. I've said that numerous times on video. I am all for masculinity. I'm not for men being feminine at all, period. And, you know, when it comes to some of the videos I've made and some of the comments I've seen on my videos, I'm seeing a lot of young men and a lot of middle-aged men being feminine instead of masculine. And it's kind of crazy. It really is. So a couple of reasons why I believe that I'm last of a dying breed when it comes to masculinity. And one of the reasons why I feel that masculinity is dying, right? So one is, of course, the rise of the feminist movement. And I'm not going to get on this video to debate feminism. I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like that I'm all for women being in the kitchen barefoot and not having jobs or anything like that. I'm not going to say that at all because that's not my belief. What I am saying is that I believe feminism is contradictory to masculinity. And because the agenda has been pushed so much, feminism has overtaken masculinity. In other words, women want to be men. That's what it really boils down to. You don't want men to take care of y'all anymore. And one of the things that makes men masculine is for us to be needed and for us to take care of our women and our families. And when something takes that away from men, it really messes with the psyche of men. Men are not built that way. They're not built to be feminine. They're not built to be in a situation to where the woman is doing everything, right? That's out of pocket, that's out of norm, that's out of order. But feminism has almost destroyed masculinity. When I've come on videos before, when I said that, hold the door open for your woman. Don't go 50-50 with your woman, right? Now, let me go ahead and say something about that before I move on with the video. So 50-50, I explained that in another video as well. So this is not to say that I feel like that women don't supposed to work. I'm not saying that at all. And I think some folks on that video felt that that was one of the reasons why I said 50-50 was just not a good idea. That's not it. I'm not telling your woman that she can't work. I'm not telling women as a whole they can't work. I'm not saying that at all. My woman works. My wife works, right? So she don't work in conventional job. She has she has an LLC. She has a business. But in the course of our marriage, she's definitely have worked a job. Nothing wrong with that, right? But what I will say is that 90% of the time we've been married in these 20 years, I have not had to depend on my wife's paycheck to pay a bill. That's his bottom line. So once again, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that your woman can't work. I'm not saying your wife can't work. What I'm saying is that her money is her money and your money is your money and her money, right? Now, once again, I know some folks going to come up here and say that that's simping. No, that's not simping. That's being masculine. That's taking care of your family. That's taking care of your woman. That's what masculinity is all about, taking care of yours, right? And for you as a man to say here that you promote 50-50 and you will not even be with a woman unless you split bills with them, you're feminine. You're buying right into this feminist stuff. That's what you're doing. You're not being masculine. And I've taught my two boys this their whole lives. Don't let a woman take care of you. Don't split things 50-50 down the middle with a woman. Don't do that at all. You the man. Be a man. Be masculine. Take care of your family. And young men out here, they really are on some whole stuff. They really on this, I refuse to pay all the bills. It's hard out here. I need to have my woman to to get out there and work. She's not gonna sit on her ass all day. Well, that's not to say you're gonna be sitting on her butt all day. You know what I'm saying? She could be creating a business. She could be taking care of the house. She could be taking care of the kids. She could be making sure that you straight when you get home. You know what I'm saying? There was a study I believe that I read one time where they said a homemaker, depending on the dynamic, is like 4 times. It's like working 4 jobs, equivalent to working 4 jobs. Being a homemaker is not easy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to guys, because I think guys really get this thing confused where they feel like that their woman staying at home, taking care of the kids, and taking care of the family, taking care of the house or whatever. They being lazy. No sir, being a homemaker is hard. At one point, my wife had to go home for about 6 months, and I had both my kids, my 2 kids at the time, my 2 boys with me. My oldest boy was 4, and my youngest he had just turned 1. And we wound up splitting because times was hard. This is during the time when I said in a previous video, 2008, during the recession. So that was one time in my life where I really had to depend on my wife to help me out with bills, because things was just working out for her. So she went home for about 6 months and actually got a job that basically we was going half and half on a lot of things, but the job, having the kids with her would have impeded her to doing the job. So I took care of the kids for 6 months by myself, and believe me, it was no joke, y'all. It was no joke at all. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the rare times in our lives, in our marriage, whatever, that it really came down to I really had to depend on my wife. Your wife is a help me, so she's supposed to help you. But by no means you're supposed to be going 50-50 with your wife. You know what I'm saying? If you can help it, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be masculine, right? Another thing that I would say, the reason why I believe I'm a dying breed is because the push of LBGTQ plus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I'm not saying no disrespect to anybody that's in that community at all. I have family members that's in that community, very close family members. So this is no hit on them. Here's my thing with that. I believe that agenda being pushed so hard is killing masculinity, because it's one thing for the LBGTQ movement and the push. It's one thing for it to be in the sense where it's liberating people that's in that community to not be afraid and stand up and live their truth. And I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, most black men wouldn't dare come out and say they were gay. A lot of women wouldn't come out and say they were lesbian, because some of them would wind up either getting physically hurt or they would get shunned from their families. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, because it shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? But during that time, that was a really dangerous time to be in that community. And even earlier than that, before I was born, it was very dangerous, right? But nowadays, in 2024, folks can live their truth and they can be free to be whatever they want to be. And I'm all for that. I really am. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not impeding on my family, I'm fine with that. But here's my thing when I'm saying that it's killing masculinity. When the agenda is pushed to the point where it's actually encouraging men and women to come into the community, that's where I have a problem at. Now, folks in the LGBTQ community could say that no, that's not the case. That's a spin on media that is not true. When you start teaching some of this stuff in schools, and when you have it in a sense where it's like it's not necessarily like I care about it being in my face. It's all about, like I said, like it's almost like, to a certain degree, it's conversion. Like the agenda is almost trying to convert a lot of men and a lot of women that wouldn't be in that sense to be there. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that it's turning men gay. I'm not saying it's turning women lesbian. But at the end of the day, the agenda is being pushed to the point where it's really causing an issue with masculinity, because what it's telling men even more that I should not be masculine. That's what it's really telling us. Feminism and the push of the LGBTQ as a whole is pushing away masculinity. We're not being men anymore. to the point now where, like, with like I said before, I was in the military, and if folks were to get drafted right now, like boys, yo, I don't know. Like, this generation has produced the most feminine men I've ever seen in my life. The most weak ass men I've ever seen in my life. Like, seriously, really. I'm not even kidding. And I've tried my best not to have my boys in that sense. And I think I've done somewhat of a fairly good job. But at the end of the day, I think social media has really outdone what parents can do to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? You have to pretty much almost like extremely limit the social media presence in your kids' lives for you to be able to prevent this agenda of toxic masculinity and making boys women and feminine. It's crazy. So in that sense, who gonna fight America's wars? Y'all? They might as well put me back in uniform. You know what I'm saying? Because some of y'all can punch our way out of a brown paper bag. Y'all weak and soft. I made a video. What I named the video? Who raised y'all men? And I made a video that social media got men effed up. I made a video about that too. So watch both of them videos. I'm speaking truth, y'all. I'm speaking facts. It's a lot of feminine people out here. A lot of feminine men out here. And I'm last of a dying breed. So as long as I got this channel, I'm going to preach and I'm going to push out masculinity. Be as masculine as possible. Being masculine is not toxic. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the points that I think some women and some men that's in the medical field have also have pushed, where they say that being men that are taught to be very masculine have an issue with talking about their feelings, and a lot of them have mental health issues. So here's the thing: hold on, y'all, I'm trying to see who this is. My oldest son. What I was saying, it's the mental health issue of men these days. I would say to a certain degree, I can kind of agree with that to a certain degree. I mean, to a real certain degree. And what I mean by that is that at the end of the day, men don't really have, I won't really say we don't really have the capacity to share our feelings. But being masculine is all about controlling your emotions, and emotions can to a certain degree, if you let it take over you, it can make you feminine. I know folks probably get this video and be like, "Yo, you is absolutely crazy, insane." I'm telling you right now, being masculine means being in control of your emotions and not letting your emotions take care of you, take over you. That's what women do. That's not what men do, right? And a lot of times, if your woman says that, I want you to open up to me, those are the things. open up to your homeboy, y'all. Don't do it with your woman. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, anyways, I can get into another video about that as well, because that can actually become a very long topic for me to talk about. But yeah, I'm last of a dying breed, y'all. I'm last of a dying breed. I'm going to preach masculinity over and over and over and over and over again on this channel. I'm always going to do that. And I'm getting sick and tired of seeing young men out here being feminine. Y'all young men that be making these comments in my videos, I'm telling you right now, some of y'all talking crazy, y'all talking feminine. It's crazy. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. And as long as I'm on video, as long as I'm able to put these videos out, I'm telling you, I'm going to preach masculinity. Be as masculine as possible. Being masculine is not toxic. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because we have to be men. Men is who run this world. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of feminine men are not going to be able to run this world, y'all. We need masculine men. That's what we need. All right? So if you want me to discuss a topic or a subject you think is beneficial to the channel, email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. Finding Fitness and Folk, Triple F, I'm gone.